Ziggy.
What's up, Cope?
How you doing, buddy? We got a good one today, right?
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Another Hall of Famer. It's going to be great.
Yeah, another Hall of Famer. Teatom Fullmer, '07.
Yep.
And I think I've met her, but I don't know her, right? And I have a feeling she's familiar to us, but we just haven't had that much interaction with her. So, and by the way, welcome to. Please allow me to introduce myself.
There
our
you go.
podcast.
Thanks
for picking me up.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I probably have met her. I feel bad. I'd probably recognize her. I will probably recognize her now, but also I would have recognized her on Friday the 20th when I saw her, but haven't spent a lot of time with her. So I'm looking forward to spending 50 minutes with her now, and then investing in her at Alumni Hoops Weekend this year.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to meet her here. Yes. Frankly, I mean that's the whole concept behind it, right? So Ziggy, can I give you a couple of statistics about Allie?
Well, I would maybe more than a couple, because when I did mine, she's in the book a lot. So go ahead.
Yeah. So she's in the book. I believe you have it as 17 times, right? Which is significant. But they're all like one hand, like number 5 in scoring, number 3 in rebounding, number 3 in field goals made, number 5 in field goals attempted, 5 field goal percentage, as you know, my favorite stat.
Yes.
6th in free throws made, 5th in free throws attempted, 2nd all-time in block shots, 2nd all-time number of rebounds in a game, 21. And do you want to tell the audience what you told me when you read this?
Because I pointed this out. She had 21 rebounds in one game, and then she also had 20 rebounds in 2 other games. So she had over 20 rebounds 3 times. But in that 21 rebound game, 10 were offensive. And I love that stat. So I'm going to.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. But I hope everybody knows that when you say somebody's a glass eater, like that is a compliment. She is grabbing rebounds and asserting herself. So I love it. So yeah, that's great. And we are going to see her at Alumni Hoops Weekend.
She's one of 70 signed up. Like I said, we're trying to get to 100, so please sign up. We do know that some people have registered and refused to have their name public. So I think we have more registrants than 70, but 70 are showing, which is great. So we'll see Allie at Alumni Hoops Weekend. Looking forward to this conversation right now.
Well, let's again, as usual, let's quit yapping about her and start talking to her. Here's Allie Teatom Fullmer, Hall of Famer, I hope. Better be.
You actually have a good stat on that. I think she went to the Hall of Fame, frankly. I'm doing a little plug here for our 91 team. She went to the Hall of Fame, frankly, the way I think you should have gone in. She went in personally and that 05 team the same night.
Oh,
so she went in personally, and she went in on the 05 team, on which she was a sophomore. So again, little plug. I wish that had happened for you in April of 24, you and our team. But whatever.
Well, thanks. Let's please start talking to her now instead of about me. All right. Here's Allie Teatom Fullmer, class of 07, Hall of Famer. Let's talk to her.
Hey, Allie, thanks for joining us. We're joined by Allie Teatom Fullmer, class of 07.
Hi, what's up?
Hall of Fame player. We're excited to have you. I think maybe we've met, but I haven't spent a lot of time with you, as I said in the intro. So I'm looking forward to doing that on this podcast.
Yeah, same here. I've watched all the podcasts. I'm really excited to be here.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer.
I don't know. Yeah, I really like them, and it takes me down memory lane. So,
well, I noticed you actually prepared for this. You have your own cool backdrop. I'm
back and forth with ChatGPT for a little bit to get it somewhat right.
Yeah, well, it's great. Yeah, it is so great to talk to you, and we already talked about your statistics. We'll talk about all that stuff, but we typically like to start, as you apparently know, because you listen to these, we like to start in the beginning. So how did you end up start to play basketball? Like, what made you start playing basketball?
Yeah, so I had a phone call with my dad yesterday, and I was like, Dad, the only memory I have of starting to play basketball is you guys forcing me to play. Is that accurate? Because that's how I felt. And he was like, no, we tried to encourage you to play all the sports. So I was primarily a soccer player, so similar to Sam. So I played soccer from when I was 5 all the way through 12th grade. But I didn't start basketball, even thinking about basketball until 7th grade. So I'm from Darien, Connecticut. It's a suburb of New York City, and the basketball program in the town was basically non-existent. So I went out for the team in 7th grade, and they were only taking 8th graders. So I did not make the team in 7th grade. And then I went back out for the team in 8th grade. So all the time before that, I was, trying different sports, playing different sports. I was a B team soccer player, so I think my parents saw some athleticism in me and was trying to get me to try other things. And made the team in 8th grade. We
Was
were
this
real
the school
bad.
team, Allie, or was this CYO team, a school team? What was it?
Yeah, so this is part of my story. Is it was through the YMCA. In my town. So the YMCA was the feeder program into the high school. So the director of the YMCA, her name's Beth Ann Baden, was also the varsity basketball coach. So she didn't arrive until maybe when I was in 8th grade or when I was in 9th grade. So she got the job at the YMCA and created a feeder program for herself, essentially. So she was just really awesome, and I got to be a part of the building of our town's basketball program. But yeah,
So
small beginnings are.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You said something when you said you talked to your dad about your basketball origins. You said, "Did you guys make me play?" Is that you talking about your parents, you have family members? Who are we talking about?
My parents. Yeah, they my memory is they made me go try out for basketball. And I was like, why? And he was like, well, we made you do a lot of things because you were athletic. So
did you like it quickly? What do you think? Because you said you went out in 7th grade and didn't make it because they were only taking 8th graders, but you went back the next year, right?
yeah, I don't remember having like a sour feeling in my heart or anything like that. Maybe it was because they only took 8th graders. It wasn't anything ability wise. It was just, we're going to take the older kids. So, but yeah, when I made it, we weren't very good. Like no one had played before because there was no program. So we were lucky, even when I did make the team, to score 10 points, maybe. So that's where I started.
So how did your high school career go? Because you basically, when you get to high school, you have 1 year of organized play under your belt, right? That's not a lot. So tell us a little bit about that. Where do you start? You start on the freshman team, the JV team? Do you go right to varsity? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So my freshman year, I made the freshman team. There were a ton of girls that went out. I remember there being like 20 girls that went out for the team, and the people who did play in that 8th grade program all made it. So that was good. We all had 1 year under our belt, but I was still shooting like this, with 2 hands, like really awful. So we all weren't that good, but my freshman year, I do remember I made the picture for the JV and varsity. So I think my memory is I did get to play in a JV game or two, enough to make that picture. So my freshman year is mostly me playing on the freshman team.
You said Darien, Connecticut.
Yeah.
What did you say your high school? If you did, I apologize. I didn't hear.
Yeah, Darien High School. So I went to the public
Darien
school.
High School. Okay.
Yeah.
And how big of a school is this? You got 20 girls going out in 9th grade or whatever. Like, it's a lot.
Big, probably 900 kids total in the school, 200 in my class. So, kind of an average size. We were class M in the state tournament. So, medium size. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're an 07 Dickinson grad, so 03 high school. So, when you're a freshman, you're basically around 2000 or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're starting to play. When do you start skill work? Like when do you start working with a coach? Like I don't want to shoot like this anymore, coach. I want to shoot like this. So when does that start?
Yeah, so my sophomore year, I went back through all my scrapbooks and my notebook.
I love this preparation, by
Yeah, it's funny. I reconnected with my high school coach this past year, and she asked me to speak to her like latest high school team. She's down in Florida now. I just like could not remember anything about high school, so I hope I do her a little bit more of justice. I talked too much about Dickinson, and she wanted me to talk about high school, so hopefully this will do her justice. So. My sophomore year, the varsity team was 2-18 in the conference. So we played in the FCAC conference, which is the Fairfield County Conference. Very competitive. We had a high school that recruited people. We had a 2,000-point score on that team, and there were several other schools that were very good in the state. So very competitive area also to begin with. Somebody was the best at something around here. So it was very competitive. So we were 2-18. So that's where I started. I got a little bit of varsity time, I think.
Did you say you were 2-18 in conference or
no, total.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that season, they were graduating. Darian's one talent. She was, going to college. And Beth Ann came up to me and she was like, you should do this, 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 this. So, I was one of those people that had somebody believe in me. With soccer, I didn't have that. No one came up to me and said, this is what you should do to get better. This is what you should do to make varsity, make the A team. But she did. And I took that and it was like, here's how to be a star, and it handed it to me on a silver platter. So it was there was a camp that I went to right after the season. It was a 5-star camp up in Boston. I remember I was talking to my mom about this. I was just crying. Everybody was so good because I was 10th grade. Like, this is high school. People are like trying to go places with basketball. And I came back to the Sous Chalet, like really seedy hotel, and I was just crying. And my mom's like, I wanted to go home. And my mom was like, don't give up. Like, let's just finish. It was a weekend thing. Like, let's just finish the weekend. And I did. And then the next thing that I was supposed to do was play AAU. And I played AAU. And that's where, once I got over that hump of that thing, it was all good from there. So I played AAU for a team called the CT Flame. It, wasn't any well-known AAU team at all. I just wanted to play and play and play and play. And so I also did a lot of individual workouts with a guy named Steve Armistead, who also worked at the Y. So I would just live in the YMCA in my town. And, I had the whole, remember those plastic things where you're not allowed to use a guide hand? Like, he plastered that on me and told me all the moves to do. And I was just always playing. There was a fall league that I played in. So, after that sophomore season, I did not stop playing.
So we talk about this. We've talked about this on the podcast about, players having a summer. Oh, yeah. He or she had a good summer. So it sounds like you had a good summer between your sophomore and junior year of high school. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, I basically did not stop playing. So I had a good full 365, full year of playing.
Yeah. And how did that translate to your junior year? I mean, tell us about that.
Yeah, so my junior year, I have the newspaper clipping in my little scrapbook. It's like Teatom comes out 20 points. I'm like, oh my God, I came out that like game one and scored 20 points and 20 points. And then I'm like going through all these newspaper clippings, like all these games I was scoring 20 points. Like, that is outrageous. Well, I just remember one of my teammates too. She was like, what happened? Like, you got like amazing.
Love it.
Ziggy,
Love it.
And it just
Ziggy,
like
somebody had a good summer, Ziggy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens. They come back in September. You're like, whoa, wow.
Yeah.
Had a good summer.
That's what happens when you put the work in. So, and then just from there, it was, I just wanted to play all the time.
Were you guys good? Did you convert into wins? Yeah.
Yeah. So that year we were 5 and something. So we improved. that my junior year of high school. But the senior year was when the program really started to come to fruition. So my senior year, so after another like 365 days of doing the exact same thing, and after my junior year, I played on 2 AAU teams, which who knows if that's even allowed, but I was doing it. We came back, we had a good group of sophomores and freshmen who had all been, at this point, Beth Ann had been in the YMCA role for a couple of years. So we're starting to see the results of the feeder program come up because these girls now have been playing basketball for longer. So that season, my senior year season, was a historical one. You know, some people have really good teams that go on to win and everything, but it was historical because we made states that year, and you only needed 8 wins to make states, and the team hadn't made states since 97. Some of the newspapers said about 6 years. So I was just looking through the teams that we beat, and like 2 years we beat this town called Norwalk. 2 years ago they had 2 losses, and they were in the FCI finals, and I think they won the state championship. So we beat them, and we beat a couple teams we'd never beaten before in my career, and it was just really like a really special time. And my coach was really complimentary of me and the entire team, and it was just a special story.
Yeah, I love these stories. I love the personal journey of working on your game and getting better. I like talking to that about people, but also talking to people who have the real journey of their teams getting better, right?
Yeah.
So you're showing that in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Your team was really struggling. You're getting better, and your program gets better at the same time. That's really rewarding.
Yeah, it really was. It was really special.
So you guys make states. You have built this. So at what point are you starting to realize that two things, that you think you want to play college and that you can play college, right?
Yeah.
Ziggy likes to often ask, when did you start getting recruited? So I guess it sort of goes together. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I really had to put myself out there. So it was probably around the junior year where I was like, okay, yeah, this is the sport that I want to play, and I want to keep going. I had a late start too, so I was like really, wanting to keep playing. It hadn't been that long. So it took me a little bit to figure out how to get recruited because our team wasn't good. So like no one was coming to see me. So there were a couple blue chip tournaments that I played in, and that's when the letters came in. I did one in Fairfield, Connecticut, and I did one in Philly, in the Philly area, and that's where Dickinson ultimately found me.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, you're playing in the state of Connecticut, which is kind of well known for basketball, but women's basketball in particular during an era where they're as good as anybody's ever been, right?
Yeah. Look,
I mean,
I'm
so
prepared. Can you see it?
oh,
Tarazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, pulling up a picture of Allie with Tarazi. So
That's
were you
drop
like
right there? That's a mic drop.
Yeah, totally. If you're listening to this, you didn't see the picture, but there's a full picture. Did you?
I went to UConn camp. Yeah.
I was going to say, did you get immersed in that culture too? Because it's a hell of a thing they built. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, even like the men's team. Emeka Okafor, I think, was around the time that I was in college. So I just loved both sides. And Connecticut doesn't have a professional sports team, so like basketball, I was like, this is actually Connecticut's team. So I was in.
So let's not leave Connecticut for a minute here, because you were at Dickinson in the era where they got the UConn court, right?
I know, that was awesome.
What year were you when that happened? Because
I was a freshman.
You were a freshman. Yeah, it was Meg Shelley Dapp's junior year. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was complaining about the floors and how it broke their body.
Loved
it. Thank God.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay.
Trust me.
Yeah, that was very cool.
You should be glad you played on that floor that they bought from. Was it the Hartford Civic Center? Where'd they buy it from?
Yeah. Hartford Civic Center was like the logo. Yeah, so it was like blue, navy blue, and white. It was not the Dickinson colors whatsoever.
Right. Cool.
YD3, as they say. We played on the rubber below it, and just I would have I would have loved to have played on that floor. I didn't care what color it was. I would have played on that floor.
Oh,
Go
so
ahead, Ziggy.
remind me, your freshman year at Dickinson, it was a new coach. Is that correct?
Yep, it was Dina's first year, so
Yeah.
I was not recruited by
Well,
her.
that's exactly how my journey happened. I was originally recruited by Gene Evans, and then he announced his retirement, and then Dave Froman ended up calling me. So it sounds like you would have gone through the same thing, right?
Yeah, she called me. Yeah, over the
recruited by
summer.
one person, and then coaching change happens before you get there, and now you're talking to a second person. So
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was going to ask you. Were you recruited by the previous coach?
Yeah.
Then okay.
Yeah, Devana was the only one that really came to more than one of my games. So she came to a few of my games. So that, obviously made me feel great.
Did you consider entering the portal when you heard there was going to be a coaching change, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to Gettysburg? Or
No, I loved Dickinson.
Okay.
So I loved the team. It was more than just the coach for me.
Yeah.
The academics were excellent. It was a reach school for me. So, I wanted to be challenged academically as well. Good abroad program if I wanted to do that. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. You get seen by Dickinson at a 5-star showcase in Philadelphia, I think he said.
Yeah, I think so.
And so you visit. Do you go for an overnight? Do you just go for a day visit? What'd you do?
Yeah, I stayed overnight with Kimmy Kleinman, who didn't come out for the team the next year, but she was really nice. I was so nervous about partying, and thank God she did not take me out because I could have gone a whole different way. I was not in that scene at all at that time. So it was really, go to class, meet the team, eat a meal with the team, watch a practice, get to know everybody. I remember meeting Meg, Jen, C, and I couldn't tell them apart. They were all triplets to me. So it's just funny. But yeah, I had a great time. I love the campus. I just felt called to Dickinson.
Oh, so where else did you look? Who else was recruiting you, and where else did you look, or did you not look anywhere else?
I looked everywhere. So my parents and I went on the tour. We went north, we went to Pennsylvania. So I looked at all the main schools, Colby, Bowdoin, Bates, those schools. Looked at Ithaca, a lot of the Boston schools. Emmanuel sent me a letter. Newberry. I looked at D1 schools too. I was marketing myself as a guard because, I was 6 foot. I could dribble at that time. I played a guard in high school. We had 2 6'4" girls for my junior year, so we were tall, so I had to play guard. So that was talked to a couple Bentley, and I think they were D1 or D2. I talked to them, and it just kind of seemed like I wasn't going to play, and I just wanted.
That's a great women's basketball program. It has been for 40 years probably. So that's a big Division II program of note. Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard that a couple of times now, Cope, right? Hey, D1 schools were looking at me, but, maybe I could have played my junior and senior years, but I wanted to go D3 and play. That seems to be a theme.
And I wanted academics too. I didn't want basketball to be my whole entire life. Like I wasn't trying to go pro or anything. I needed to get a job after all of this is over. So I wanted to have some good academics too.
So any other Centennial schools recruiting you or no?
I went to Muhlenberg, and Coach, I call him Ron. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce his last name, but he told me that they had filled my position. I looked at Gettysburg, but I didn't want to go to Gettysburg. Too many people from my high school went to Gettysburg. So, but I ended up liking Dickinson the best anyway.
Okay.
Did you know did you have a sense of what you wanted to be career-wise, or what you were going to major in? What were you thinking about?
No, I was not. It's funny. I feel like I did the data and analytics major that currently exists today. I feel like I did that major on my own. I originally started as a math major because I was good at math going through school. I know, sorry. This is
Another one of
for
these.
you.
Seems to
What
be a
is
theme
happening,
here.
Ziegler?
Seems to be a theme here that's aligned with me and not Cope, and I love it.
I apologize, Allie. This is me.
Well,
This is me being annoyed with him. Never you.
no problem. Yeah. So, but math ended up being like way too theoretical for me. So I did some soul searching there too. I did a couple comp sci classes. I did psychology because I liked behavior. But psychology had too many multiple choice tests, and I like could not do those. And I landed on economics. So I was a economics major, math minor, and that led me to my ultimate career in data and analytics. So I'm pretty sure a lot of those classes I took was the data and analytics major.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lot to talk about in February. Major in math.
I know you guys were talking about your coding languages in the other podcast.
Not me. Not me. No.
Code.
Yeah. It might as well have been Morse code. So, Ziggy, let's take a second to talk about one of our favorite times of year, Alumni Hoops Weekend, February 20th and 21st. Yeah. So coming up in sunny Carlisle. And we promise it'll be sunny. Coming up, Hoops Homecoming. It's basically Hoops Homecoming, right? Yeah. So what do we want to tell everybody about?
Our message is always the same, right? Just please come. Please come. And if you think you're going to show up either Friday night for the full weekend or Saturday morning or even Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, please register. Registration, college loves to see there's a lot of alums coming back that give FRDB credit. As you all know, we've had in the 80s back the last couple of years. We're trying to hit 100. As of right now, we have 70 people registered. So we know there'll be more than that at the event. But please register because it shows kind of the how powerful FRDB can be as an organization.
Yeah, and operationally, it helps us plan. We have T-shirts. We have food. Yes. It helps the college and us plan so that if you know you're coming, even if it's just for something, put your name into it. It helps on every level you can think of. And as you guys, we know, we sponsored by the Friends of Red Devil basketball, right? So, but bring a teammate. Please come. If you're not sure, you have a question, give us a holler. We're usually pretty accessible.
And look, so here are the things that the college is going to fund, right? We are going to unveil the 1,000-point scorer banner, and we're going to unveil the Century Club plaque. At those unveilings, they will be feeding us with drinks. And then after the two varsity games over at the Paz Alumni Center, we'll be having a happy hour, and they'll be feeding us and supplying us with drink at that as well. So having the number of people helps us plan those two events.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen the schedule,
Paz,
if you're worried about your schedule, those are two primary events, right? So the unveiling and the happy hour, those will be Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. So hopefully we see you there. We'll take plenty of pictures if you're not, but we really hope to see you there. Ziggy, I can't wait to see you at it. It's going to be fun.
Can't wait, Cope. See ya.
All right, Ziggy, let's get back to our interview.
In fact, when we were talking about your stats during the intro, Cope said, she's third all-time in attempts, fifth all-time in attempts and third all-time in makes. And so, of course, I'm thinking, that's a great percentage, but that just went over Cope's head for sure.
I do that. I really prided myself on my shooting percentage. I think senior year I led the Centennial Conference.
Yeah, well done.
I think Ziegler might be hallucinating right now. I feel that. We'll edit this out.
Don't edit out and make fun of Cope segment. Don't ever do that.
It's beginning to feel like sometimes an entire episode of that. So all right, so you get to Dickinson. You kind of don't know what you want to do, but you are definitely slotting yourself into something. But it's interesting. It's such a liberal arts Division III thing to say. I thought about math. How was it you described it? Math was too
theoretical.
Theoretical, and I was
we had to prove the fundamental theorem of calculus. Like, I mean, I'm sure
As
some
one does.
Estonians like doing that, but that was not for me. I wanted something with real world application.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you do a little philosophy and
Yeah,
like you
I
think
did.
about it, like the way you described that and how you ended up doing something that's clearly like it makes sense to you. But that is very much a liberal arts brain at work.
It's
Uh,
logical, critical thinking that it gives
yeah.
you. I think that makes a lot of people really successful in their careers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where do you live? You get on campus. Where do you live your first year?
I'm in Baird McClintock, and it had just been renovated recently, so I got all the new rooms. So felt awesome about that.
All the nice stuff. Okay, cool.
And a new segment we're adding. You can see that in our names here. You have Cope 32 and you have Ziggy 32. Obviously, we wore number 32. What number were you at Dickinson?
I was 25, and I was 5 in high school, and I wanted to be 5 again, but they were going to play me at forward, and they were like, well, 5 are size small, so you have to pick a bigger number. And I was like, okay, well, 25, can I get a jersey in a medium?
Right.
Like,
And did you learn to love the number 25?
yeah.
Like if I'm in my life and I see something 32, I take a picture of it, I send it to Cope, right? Like
Yeah.
we way overemphasize our number. Are you the same way or do you know?
Yeah. I have a nutcracker as a Christmas decoration that has a 25 on it.
Beautiful. Okay, good.
Yeah, I recently realized this year that it's probably 25 because December 25th. That's why there was a time.
No.
So it was fate.
I don't think that's probably. I think it's probably your number. Yeah, it has nothing to do with.
Yeah, it's a basketball player nutcracker too. I was like, this is amazing.
Right. Has nothing to do with Christmas Day. No. Love that.
That is actually really funny. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. So there was no real. You wanted 5, but you couldn't wear it because we were
Size
restricted
issue.
by sizes.
Yeah.
So we go with. You could say you were you're going to be 2 times as good in college, so you're 225, right? Like you could make something. Yeah.
About sure.
Yeah, sure. You just lie to me, Allie. Okay, so talk to us. You get to the. What did you think of the level of play? You played in a very competitive high school conference. You guys got better during your high school career. You got considerably better fast in about 700 days. You got really good.
Yeah.
So you get to college. What did you expect from the competition? Was it what you thought? Was it better?
Yeah.
Did you immediately feel comfortable?
I was not ready for like this
Really?
level of commitment. I think the actual gameplay was fine. I could compete with all the girls just fine. It was knowing all the plays. It was you cannot miss a practice. So my freshman year, my family planned a ski trip like we always do out to Colorado over winter break, and we originally went to Dina, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna, like, I'll be back like January 1. And she's like, no, or like whenever it was like many days after like we were supposed to be back. And she was like, what? She had to like leave. I think she tells the story that she had to leave and go calm herself down from that. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And so like my parents and I like rearranged my flight home alone by myself, never flown alone before. I think I only missed it was double session, so I only missed the first one, I want to say. Maybe I missed 2. But yeah, she had me like running all the most hated running drills that you do preseason. In between those double session practices,
Right,
and I remember Charlie and Penner were like, what did she do? Like somebody told me, were like, what did she do so wrong that she has to run this much?
So that's interesting. So the competition, you're like, okay, I can compete here, but it was the level of commitment that
Yeah. And
like, that's
yeah,
fascinating.
and you had to use your head. Like there were a lot of plays that we just, there's a tip-off play that I remember E-Town. It was the 3rd game, and I was starting. So she started me first 3 games, I think it was my freshman year, and we had a tip-off play, and I just didn't do it, and it was immediate. And from then on, I lost my starting spot until the last 3 games of the season, so I earned it back. But I just felt, I think somebody else talked about this on this podcast. I felt a complete sense of relief when I was coming off the bench. So I was just, not mature enough, I would say.
Yeah, Hinckley talked about that. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and it's you sit back and can look back and say, oh, it's sort of immature, or whatever. Yeah, you're 18 years old. Like,
yeah.
You're away from home for the first time, probably in most cases. Yeah, that's how you learn. Is somebody's like, eh.
You need to be held accountable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not that you weren't at home in high school. This is just a different level by somebody different. That's funny.
Well, tell us about your...
Well, I got one more question, though, Ziggy.
Yeah, go.
Did you continue to ski throughout college?
I did not.
There we go. That is the correct answer.
I ski now, so I went back to it later, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
So walk us through your season journey. We know your sophomore year, you were on that great 05 team, right?
Yeah.
I remember I don't think the 04 team was that great, right? But
we were
4 years.
Yeah, we were 12-12. So okay. I remember that year, Jeremiah, this was Dina's husband. He was the assistant coach at the time. He gave, it was like the last game of the season. We were 11-12, and he gave this really motivating speech that was like, hey, you guys, Dickinson, have not been 500 in years. You have an opportunity here to do something that this program hasn't accomplished for some time. And then he looks at me, he's like, Allie, you've never been 500. So you should have the most motivation or something like that. So yeah, like I was coming from, never winning anything.
Did you respond to that well? But like, because that's a very pointed motivational thing. Did you go, I'm about to play him, bro? Oh, I like that. Yeah.
No, I was like, yeah, you're right, man. Like, let's go. I think it was at Haverford where you had to walk down that like whole hallway. So I was like thinking,
that's funny.
And so then your junior, remind us your junior and senior year. So you have a great team your sophomore year, all-time team. We've talked about your junior and senior year. How'd you guys do?
Yeah, we were really good. So junior year we were 19-8, and then senior year too. Like people forget about that team. It was probably one notch under that 04-05 team. I think we were 22-6. We made it to the Centennial Conference Championships, lost in overtime. Break my heart. And then we also lost. We made the NCAA tournament that year too, and we lost. By like 4 points or something. So I have a lot of heartbreak in my career, but really successful seasons.
So remind our listeners who you lost to your senior year in the Centennial Final and who you lost to in the NCAAs.
Yep. So my senior year.
Yes.
The senior year was Ursinus. We lost to in overtime, and we had never lost to them my entire career.
Oh.
So that was pretty brutal. It was a snowstorm. We were playing at McDaniel. The crowd was sparse. Like you could hear a pin drop. It was so quiet. And then my dad was telling me, I don't know if this is true, but my dad was telling me that they couldn't get refs to come to the game, so they had to get like a rec league ref to officiate the game. And there were
was it a storm.
Yeah. And there were just so many fouls. I fouled out. I think Brooke Muller fouled out. So I didn't even get to play in the overtime period.
Oh,
so I think Carly Oncotts hit a 3 to go into overtime. But my dad told me, because I don't remember any of this, my dad said, you fouled somebody so that they didn't make a shot and gave Carly the opportunity to hit that 3. So, but in doing that, I fouled out.
So your fifth foul. Yeah, your fifth foul did that. Okay, got it. Yeah.
So we went to overtime. I fouled out, couldn't play. And then I think Jess Howard, who was our point guard, she fouled out within the first minute. And I think Laura Housel also fouled out. So we were...
So you lose out on the automatic bid, but you're good enough. You have a good enough team where you get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we did. And that year, my sophomore year, when we got that at-large bid, I was just like laying in bed and I got a phone call and they're like, we did it. I was like, what? I didn't even know we could, I think.
Did
And
what?
then
Yeah.
year, we all knew. So we were all like waiting around to see if we got that at-large bid.
Yeah.
We did.
That's nice.
So you hosted an NCAA game, or were all those NCAA games in your career on the road?
My sophomore year, the 04-05 team we hosted. Yeah. And we hosted the Centennial Championship too.
Right. Okay.
And then senior year, the McDaniel was the good team. So the championship was at McDaniel. And then we went down to Virginia. We played Christopher Newport for NCAAs.
Yeah. A D3.
All right, so March of your senior year, you play in the NCAA tournament. It's your second trip to the tournament. You have a great career. You're going to be a Hall of Fame player. And what you're thinking, the last horn sounds, and you're like, "What do I do now?" Or are you prepared? You know what you're doing.
Oh God, no! I did not know. I did not know. I would say I was lost. I went home and I sat in my room I just didn't come down. I played in a combine actually to play overseas.
Okay.
To see if that was a viable option. And I was out of practice and everybody was really good. I kind of had that sous chalet experience feeling for me. I couldn't do what I normally did there. A German team did come after me, but it felt really shady. So I was like, no, I got to figure something else out.
Okay.
Wow. So I have a couple questions. When your career ends, were you able to go to spring break? Because it bumps right up against it, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yeah. So, but we were talking about hey, if we win, we're not going to get a spring break, and no one cared.
Yeah. Well, it's my senior year, I lost and I had no spring break plans, and I was going to go home and curl up in a fetal position for a week. I was so upset. I could totally relate. And my mom basically said, "You are going on spring break. You cannot." Basically, my mom made me go on spring break because when you were talking about that, I'm like, "Oh," and I'm so glad she did, right? But I was like you. I was miserable, and fortunately, I jumped in late and ended up going on ahead of a great trip with all my buddies. But boy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I will say I went on a spring break every year. It was always with the basketball team. So it was always a great time.
Good. And you're and this combine thing. So you were considering trying to continue to play if you could.
Yeah, I just, I tried it out.
Okay.
Everybody was just there. It was all D1 players. And I was kind of done. So
yeah,
I didn't practice my heart out. So, I just wanted to see.
Yeah. So what's your post-Dickinson path look like? You say you went home for a little while, but then, what happens next?
Yeah. So I ended up moving to the Philadelphia area with no job. And I lived with my teammate, Jess Howard. And we were roommates for a long time in Philadelphia. And I ended up getting an accounting job at a small sales training company in Philly. And so I was in the accounting world for a little bit of time. And that was just not for me. And then the recession hit as well. So I was working there for about a year, and then I made it through 4 rounds of layoffs, but the economy finally got me. But that's when I was hired by Penn Medicine, and I've been at Penn ever since that. So it's been about 16 years. The organization just really supported me. I got my master's, I got my MBA, and that's where I found analytics. I took a marketing class, and I was like, oh, marketing is more than just billboards and TV commercials. It's behavior and collecting data and all of that stuff. So I found Penn Medicine's marketing department specifically, primary research is what drew me to that kind of stuff first. And I was able to find my current boss today, and there was 3 people that started with her, and she now has 70 people under her or something like that. So I just feel like, this is like a trend is just growing, things for me. I love being that like, person to help execute whatever somebody's vision is. So
you're still in the Philadelphia area, and where do you live in Philadelphia? In city proper or outside?
I lived in Philly for about 10 years, and then now I live in Willow Grove, which is about 20 miles north of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the old Air Force Base, I think, is in Willow.
Yeah.
Might still be Air National Guard or something. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there. Is that that's lower Bucks County, or is that
Montgomery County?
It's Montgomery. Yeah. Okay, I saw how you responded there. Okay, it's Montgomery County. Relax, Cope. She's like, relax.
Well, we wanted to move to Bucks County at one point, but then COVID hit, and the mortgages.
Yeah. Okay, so it's funny. It's interesting that you described like you like to execute somebody's vision, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you had a high school coach who had a vision for you and said, here, go do this. And you executed it, right? Like, it's interesting to hear how you describe that. And then you describe this when you're at Penn Medicine. You're executing every day. And somebody I don't know if you've ever drawn that parallel, and I might be reaching. It just seemed like the way you described both of them were similar. Do you, so Ziggy always asks a couple of great questions about how your career has sort of affects what you do today. And I'm not going to step on his great question, but I would like to ask you, you sort of discovered what you enjoy. It seems like you enjoy it now, and kind of by happenstance, right? The recession, and you end up there. Is that what, do you think that's typical? Like your teammates, do they have some of the same stories? They kind of find what they like to do?
I felt like I was an oddball and that like I did not know
really
what I do. I think a lot of people like I had no idea, like not even like the subject. I think a lot of people at least had that, like I want to do the sciences, I want to, be a doctor, I want to go into politics or any of these things. And I'm sure everybody has their own internal struggles, but this was my perception at the time. Was that everybody sort of had a direction at least, and I had like zero direction. My dad was in finance, and I knew I didn't want to do quite what he did, but I liked numbers, and I poured over the basketball stats. Like me and another teammate, Julie, we would just sit there and like go through all the stats, like line by line. I liked information. And so I just kind of let that take me, like, where can I go to get the information? I always want to be in the know. And that's like with data, you know everything.
Ziggy, how much does she remind you of one of our favorite 25s, Dave Paracchia, our teammate? Yeah, in the same exact way. Like he wore 25, and I'm listening, I'm like, oh my God, she should talk to Paracchia. These two would be finishing each other's sentences. Oh.
So funny. Yeah, I love that.
So let me ask my question, since we're talking about your career and how you ended up there. So I ask everybody, look back on your Dickinson basketball career. What experience did you have on the floor, in the locker room, in the camaraderie with your teammates that you think best prepared you for something that you faced professionally?
Yeah. For me, it's a no excuses mentality. Dina never let you have an excuse for anything. Like if you even talked back to her, not excuses. So, I just had that, in me, and, with data, with technology, specifically my job is turning data into insights. I'm not just running a report for the sake of running a report here. I'm doing it to inform the technology. So for Penn, we're creating digital experiences for our patients. And so like you need to be able to figure things out because we need to make things better for the patients. So I was able to grow up and figure out how to do things, and, where some people couldn't do it and they would leave. So I was always able to, figure out how to write that line of code, or, Salesforce was something I worked in, like figure out how to do this thing in Salesforce. So, just being in tech, there's always a way. There's always a way. And I feel like that mentality coming from basketball really helped. And I'll also say to anyone who is in college or looking to go to college and listening to this podcast, always keep basketball on your resume. I cannot tell you the number of compliments I have gotten from job searching over the years. I love hiring college athletes. I think a lot of employers really like understand that. So, basketball's still on my resume today, and it's 25 years ago at this point.
This might be a dumb question, but does it inform how you hire people when you see that on a resume or something similar? Does it
definitely gives
stick
people,
out?
yeah, definitely gives people a leg up for sure. But I try not to be like super biased. It's
You are an analytical person. You are with the data.
I do need the actual skill set because we're not going to hire people right out of college. We're just a little bit too mature for that. So we need people who've done the job already.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that assessment though. Like, I've always asked about it. It's been on my resume for a long time. Yeah, people value it for sure.
People do.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. Do you, Allie, I like to sometimes ask people about the memory or the moment that they feel like is sort of the most significant to them. It could be in a bus, could be in the locker room, could be winning a game, could be something. Was there like a time or a position you were in where you felt like you kind of had a moment? Mike Hinckley talks about this, taking a moment to sort of like take it in. That you did that, or you realized what you guys were doing, or
this is my initial answer to that question. There's a memory that I have from the 04-05 season. We were about to play Johns Hopkins, who was really good, and I think that was our first like real test to know if we were like really good. I think they were nationally ranked, and I remember sitting around the locker room, and it was dead silent. And we were just passing like a balloon back and forth to each other while our interesting warm-up music played. And it was just, no one was like screaming and yelling. It was just boop, boop. And everybody just knew that something big was going to happen tonight. And we won. And we started to be nationally ranked after that.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's good. That's great. Any advice you've sort of already given some, but any advice you would give to current players or even folks that listen to this that are considering going to Dickinson or wherever they're, that you would give them about this college experience and this basketball experience, because we have these same conversations with people all the time at the Gingerbread Man, and I'd be curious what you tell them, what you would stand up in front of the team and tell them.
Yeah, I think my advice would be to follow your heart. I loved this. I think you guys talk about this all the time. It's hard to make it 4 years. And your heart's got to be in it. There's a lot of outside work that you have to do, a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. And follow your heart, find something that you're passionate about. For me, it was basketball, and I was looking for that same passion in my career. So whether it's basketball, whether it's something else, you have to follow your heart, because that's how you're going to live your life. And that's how you're going to be happy, is by doing something that you're passionate at. So that would be my advice.
I love it. I love it. I got one more question for you, and it's about your AHW journey. How often have you been?
What's with acronyms? AHW?
One Night Hoops Weekend.
Oh, okay.
Does this all the time.
I mean, because like I said in the intro, I'm sure I've met you, but I don't remember. You probably come back every year, but we got 85 people, 87 people there, right? You can't talk to everybody. Now I'll recognize you, and we'll hang out. But tell us a little bit about your AHW journey over the last 10 years. How many times have you been back?
I've been back a bunch.
Good.
I played for about 8 years after college, but once I started like in my baby making era, I stopped coming back as much. And then now it's my only time to play. So I want to come back and play. There are a couple, I think I was looking back through pictures. In 2018, I just like went by myself. I was like, I feel like playing. And And
I love it.
yeah, there's a picture of like 7 of us there. So yeah, I come back to play, but I've been back a few times because usually there's a crew of my cohort.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
women's
great.
game now has more than the men's game the last couple
There
of
were so
Yeah,
many people last year. My
yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
I got a
yeah,
5 for playing time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we're thrilled by it. You know, like we
Yeah, it's
love it. We
awesome.
think it's awesome. But it is the women's being involvement with this has been like a rocket ship. The
Yeah,
numbers, and
yeah. I think
we're
the
thrilled
team,
by it.
yeah, the teams just have like the same camaraderie that we do, and it's just
Yeah.
carried forward since that time. So, and it's funny. I ran into Jen Kremp. She was like class of
Hmm.
20 at the gym one time, and I was like, she was wearing a Dickinson shirt, and I was like, oh, did you go to Dickinson? She was like, yeah. And I was like, did you play sport? 'Cause we're at the gym. And she's like, yeah, I played basketball. I was like, I played basketball, and we like hug each other, and like it's like instant family. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I just love it. I love what you guys have done with the program, and encouraging people to come back. It's really meaningful.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we've loved
thanks.
having you on here and get to know you better. And we look forward to seeing you in a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I want to say too to you guys, thank you for allowing me to tell my story, and have something out there that lives on, so
Yeah.
my kid can watch it, and it's really special to me that my experience is out there now. So thank you.
That
Well, thank
that
you for sharing it with us.
that is so great. I'm so glad your parents forced you to play basketball. It's great.
Encouraged is the word.
Forced. We know it. They forced you
Yeah.
to. We're thrilled because and I can't wait to see you in Carlisle too. So thank you so much for coming on. Okay, I know we say it every time, but
That was great.
she was really good, really
Good.
great.
Yeah, I feel bad for the person coming up where we don't say it at the end because they'll know immediately. But
Yeah,
she was great.
yeah, she was a great interview, but it was a really cool story. Um, and Ziggy, like the thing that jumps out to me about Allie is how fast she got really good. I mean, she's clearly an athlete. She's
Yeah.
6 feet tall, playing soccer since she's young, so
Yeah.
she's got feet. But it took a coach to say to her, "Hey, you can be good. Here's what you need to do to be good and make the A team," I think is what she said. And then she just went and did it. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
But you do have to like it and want to be good to do that too. You can't, it's just easy to say.
Yeah.
What'd you take away from her? What jumps out at you
Well, a
about?
couple of things on that. One is that she got the coaching. She had a coach who said, "Hey, do this," and she went and did it. Right? That's pretty impressive. I love the story about being number 5 in high school and being a guard and getting to Dickinson and saying, "Hey, you're 25 and you're playing inside." Right? So she changed her whole game and then she grabbed 20 rebounds 3 times. Like that's amazing to me, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I loved her answer to my question where she said, learning no excuses, playing Dickinson basketball prepared her for her job where you can't have excuses in the professional world. So I really like the answer to that as well.
Yeah. Again, I sometimes say this and I actually, I mean it. I could talk to people like her all day long. Fascinating background, not really sure what she wanted to do, like very self-deprecating, very humble, but you could tell like very serious about what she wants to be and is. And I really like that. I'm so glad. I mean, we have talked to her briefly in the past. I feel like we kind of know a lot about her now.
Oh, I'm going to seek her out now at this year's AHW, right? Because now I know her and I'm going to spend some time with her. So, it's hard. We got 85 people coming back, and hopefully 100 this year. You're not going to talk to everybody, right?
No.
But now I have an excuse to sit down and chat with her and enjoy it. So,
yeah, it'd be great. Hey, listen, she was great, and we need more guests. Not to be as organized and prepared as she was. That's sort of above and beyond. I mean, it could be, but no, we don't need that. But we want to keep talking to people who laced them up, and you don't have to be in the top 5 and everything.
No,
that's not a concern. we would just like to talk to you. So, Ziggy, anything else I'm missing here?
Well, I don't know if we caught this on tape, but what she said to us at the end about, she thanked us about letting her tell her story, right? Yeah. She basically made the point, like, this was an important part of my life. It was important to me during that period, and it still is important. And I enjoyed telling my story. I feel that way. I know you feel that way. I know many of us feel that way. And our stories are different. So we want to hear it. Come on here, tell us your story. Because if you're like me, it means a lot to you. And that'll come across when people hear it, and we want to hear it.
Absolutely. Ziggy, great episode. Great job.
Good to see you, Cope.
Ali Teatom Fullmer, 07, thank you so much. You were great. Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.